When Paul Stanley posted a photo with Ace Frehley, fans couldn't believe their eyes. After decades of tension, seeing the two original Kiss members smiling together felt like a time machine to the glory days. The photo wasn't just an image, it was a message. It said, "Some things never fade." Paul wrote, "This one brings back everything that made it worth it." Fans flooded the comments, remembering the wild 1970s when Kiss ruled the world. For longtime followers, it was like watching old friends find peace after years of silence. But few knew the real story behind that photo and why Paul chose to share it now. 1972, four young dreamers from New York City, Paul Stanley, Gene Simmons, Peter Criss, and Ace Frehley, came together to form a band that would soon change rock forever. Paul still remembers the first time Ace walked into rehearsal wearing mismatched sneakers and a calm confidence. "He didn't try to impress anyone," Paul once said. "He just plugged in and played, and suddenly the room felt electric." That moment sealed Ace's place in Kiss. The chemistry was instant, and Paul often said that Ace's guitar tone made his songs sound larger than life. The friendship started strong, built on music, ambition, and laughter. The famous photo wasn't taken recently. It was from a 1977 photo shoot in Los Angeles during the Love Gun era. Paul had kept it in his private collection for decades. He said he found it while organizing old tour memorabilia. "We were exhausted but happy," Paul recalled. That picture captures the moment before things started changing. In the photo, Paul and Ace are side by side, grinning under full makeup. There's energy, mischief, and a brotherly spark. It reminded Paul of a simpler time before fame, ego, and addiction started pulling the band apart. Posting it, he said, felt right. Between 1976 and 1978, Kiss was at its peak. They were selling out stadiums, topping charts, and living larger than life. Paul often looked to Ace during those years as the soul of their sound. "He played with heart," Paul once told an interviewer. "You could feel his joy in every note." Behind the scenes, the two shared moments of laughter and chaos, late-night jam sessions, hotel pranks, and endless road adventures. The photo symbolized that golden era. For Paul, it wasn't just nostalgia, it was a reminder of how far they had come from those loud, smoky clubs in New York City. By 1979, things had changed. The fame that had bonded them also tore them apart. Ace's struggle with substance abuse and frustration with the band's direction led to growing distance. Paul tried to keep things professional, but resentment built. "It hurt watching him drift away," Paul admitted years later. During the elder sessions, Ace barely participated. The brotherhood captured in that old photo now felt like a ghost. Paul kept the picture hidden, unable to look at it without remembering the pain that followed. The two would go years without truly speaking. When Kiss reunited in 1996 for the Alive worldwide tour, the moment was historic but tense. Paul and Ace had unfinished business. Backstage, things were polite but cold. "We didn't talk much," Paul said, "but the music did." The chemistry was still there when they played together. During one show, Paul glanced at Ace mid-solo and saw the same spark from 1974. For a moment, Paul recalled, it felt like that photo came to life again. But once the tour ended, the old issues returned. Still, the memory lingered, a proof that magic like that never fully dies. Years passed, Paul focused on family and art, while Ace pursued solo work and recovery. Over time, the bitterness softened. "We were brothers once," Paul said, "and that never truly goes away." He began revisiting old photos and memories, realizing how much those early years shaped him. When he found the photo with Ace again, it no longer brought pain, only warmth. "It wasn't about the fights anymore," Paul said, "it was about gratitude." That realization inspired him to finally share the image publicly. It was a quiet act of peace. When the photo hit social media, the reaction was explosive. Thousands of fans wrote emotional messages, sharing stories of how Kiss changed their lives. Many said the photo felt like closure. Others begged for another reunion, but Paul's message wasn't about restarting Kiss, it was about remembering where it all began. "We can't go back," he wrote, "but we can appreciate what we had." Even Ace responded warmly, thanking Paul for the gesture. For a band known for drama, this small moment of unity meant the world to their fans. Paul later revealed that sharing the photo wasn't just nostalgia, it was his way of honoring what Ace brought to Kiss. "He had this magic you can't replace," Paul admitted. "That photo captures it perfectly. Behind their smiles, there's history of friendship, rivalry, laughter, and loss. It's a picture of two men who survived fame's storm and lived to tell the tale." For Paul, it symbolized the human side of rock and roll, fragile, fleeting, but unforgettable. "Sometimes one photo says everything words can't," he wrote. Today, both men have aged gracefully with separate paths but shared history. When asked if he'd ever perform with Ace again, Paul smiled and said, "Never say never." But the truth is that one photo said more than any reunion could. It reminded the world that beneath the face paint and pyrotechnics were two kids from New York who dreamed big and made history. "That picture," Paul said, "isn't about the band, it's about friendship." And for fans around the world, it's proof that even in the loudest world of rock and roll, some memories never fade.